A truckload of garbage rolled into the Comox Valley today, and it was accompanied by a large group of protesters who were there to shame the shellfish industry. The Denman Island Marine Stewardship Committee collected more than 2 tons of debris from local beaches this past weekend alone, and the volunteers say almost all of it came from local shellfish growers. As CTV's Steve Courtenay reports, they are demanding that the industry clean up its own mess.
Truckloads of debris arrive in Courtenay from Denman Island. This garbage was collected from beaches over the weekend by volunteers. They're furious that they're spending their free time cleaning up after an industry that makes millions operating in BC waters.
This is unacceptable. It's time for the shellfish industry, we feel, to clean up its act.
The Denman Island Marine Stewardship says nearly 90% of the debris collected during the annual beach cleanup is generated by the shellfish industry.
It's not changing, it's not reducing. It's our feeling that they need to pay attention and put their energy into securing their equipment. If it should escape, which some of it is bound to, they then need to be responsible for cleaning up after themselves. It should not be volunteers that have that responsibility.
It began as a display, but quickly became a protest. The Stewardship Committee says it doesn't feel enough is being done by the BC Shellfish Growers Association and the farmers themselves, as each year more than 2 tons of debris washes onto its beaches.
We've just met with DFO, who recently took over the regulation of this industry. They're making plans for how to deal with this and other issues around the shellfish industry.
The BCSGA represents 70% of shellfish farmers in the province. The BCSGA wasn't available to appear on camera today, but released a statement saying it continues to work with its farmers through education, research, and development. It hopes to limit the amount of equipment that breaks away from shellfish farms and the amount of debris that washes ashore. Eddie Johnston has owned and operated a shellfish tenure for more than 30 years. She says with shellfish debris remaining an issue, she's ashamed to admit she's a grower.
It's time they stepped up and thought about what they're doing. You know, they just come and they work their tenure and then they leave. But it's the people that walk the beaches and look after the environment that are being impacted.
When you've got metal and nets and baskets and rope floating and on the beaches, they create a safety hazard to swimmers, walkers, boaters.
The BCSGA did not accept an invitation to today's event, but says it will be paying for the debris to be taken to the landfill. Steve Courtenay, CTV News, Courtenay.